Danny Cole had 12 credits in his pocket and nowhere to go. He stood outside the massive auction hall on Station 7 and watched rich aliens walk past him like he was invisible. They wore expensive clothes and carried data pads worth more than everything Danny had ever owned. He was just a human in old work boots and a jacket with holes in the sleeves. 6 months ago, Danny had been a cargo hauler. He had owned a small ship called the Jane. It was not a pretty ship, but it was his. He had worked hard for 10 years to pay for it. Then the Merchant Guild changed their rules. They said humans needed special permits to haul cargo in their space. The permits cost more money than Danny could make in 5 years. When he could not pay, they took his ship. They took everything. Now he was stuck on this station with no job, no ship, and no way home. Earth was far away, and passage on a transport cost 500 credits. He had 12. Danny walked into the auction hall anyway. He did not know why. Maybe he just wanted to feel like a spacer again, even for a little while. Maybe he wanted to see what he could never have. The hall was huge. It was filled with hundreds of aliens from dozens of species. They were tall with their gray skin and 4 arms. They were short with scales that changed color when they talked. There were Dominion officers in black uniforms, standing in the back and watching everything with cold eyes. Danny tried not to look at them. The Dominion did not like humans. On the main floor, ships were being sold one by one. A beautiful racing yacht went for 50,000 credits. A cargo freighter sold for 30,000. A luxury cruiser went for 200,000 to a fat merchant who did not even seem excited about it. Danny watched and felt his heart sink lower with each sale. These ships were dreams, beautiful, impossible dreams. He was about to leave when the auctioneer announced Lot 247. It was the last item of the day. "And now," the auctioneer said in a bored voice, "we have a salvage vessel of unknown origin. Class, heavy armored, status, non-functional, condition, poor. This vessel was recovered from the sector 18 years ago. No buyer has been found. Starting bid, 1,000 credits." On the big screen, Danny saw the ship. It was ugly. There was no other word for it. The hull was covered in black scoring marks like it had flown through fire. The armor plating was thick but dented. It looked like a brick with engines. Nobody raised their hand. 500 credits, the auctioneer said. Silence. 100 credits. The aliens in the crowd laughed. Some of them pointed at the screen and made jokes in languages Danny did not understand. 50 credits. Nothing. 20 credits. A merchant snorted and walked away. 7 credits, the auctioneer said. He sounded tired. 7 credits, the minimum legal bid, anyone. Danny did not know why he raised his hand. Later, he would try to explain it to himself. He would say it was because he was desperate. He would say it was because he had nothing left to lose. But the truth was simpler. Something about that ugly, forgotten ship called to him. It was like looking in a mirror. Sold, the auctioneer said. To the human in the back, 7 credits. The whole room turned to look at Danny. He felt his face turn red. The aliens laughed harder now. Even the Dominion officers smiled, and their smiles were not kind. Congratulations, the auctioneer said with no feeling in his voice. You now own a pile of scrap metal. Please collect your vessel from Docking Bay 94. Danny paid his 7 credits and took the ownership chip. His hands were shaking. He had just spent more than half of his money on something that probably did not even work. He was an idiot. He knew he was an idiot. But he went to Docking Bay 94 anyway. The ship looked even worse up close. It sat in the corner of the bay like a wounded animal. The hull was dark gray, almost black. The armor was at least 3 feet thick in some places. Danny had never seen anything like it. Modern ships had thin hulls and energy shields. This thing was built like a fortress. He found the main airlock and pressed his ownership chip to the scanner. Nothing happened. He pressed it again. Still nothing. Come on, Danny said. Work, please work. He put his hand flat against the cold metal of the hull. He was about to give up and walk away. Then the lights came on. They flickered at first, weak and yellow. Then they grew stronger. The airlock hissed and began to open. Danny stepped back in surprise. Inside, the ship was dark. Emergency lights glowed red along the floor. Danny walked in slowly. The air was stale and cold, like it had been sealed for a very long time. He found his way to the bridge. It was small but solid. There were control panels covered in dust. There were screens that were black and dead. There was a captain's chair in the center, worn but comfortable looking. Danny sat down in the chair. It fit him perfectly. "Hello," he said, feeling foolish. A voice answered. "Human detected." Danny jumped out of the chair. The voice came from everywhere and nowhere. It was female, calm, and clear. "What the hell?" Danny said. "Genetic scan complete," the voice said. "Species confirmed, human, origin Earth, authorization level maximum. Welcome aboard the commander." The screens around Danny flickered to life. They showed ship systems, engine status, weapon arrays, and 1,000 other things he did not understand. "I am," the voice said. "I am the artificial intelligence of this vessel. I have been waiting for you for a very long time." Danny sat back down in the chair. His heart was beating fast. His hands were shaking again, but not from fear, from excitement. "How long?" he asked. 2,417 years, said. "It is good to finally have a captain again." Danny looked at the screens. He looked at the ancient controls. He looked at his own reflection in the dark glass. He had paid 7 credits for this ship, and he was starting to think it might be worth a lot more than that. Danny spent 3 days on and each day he discovered something new that made his head spin. Was patient with him. She explained things slowly, like a teacher talking to a child. Danny did not mind. He had a lot to learn. The ship was old, older than anything Danny had ever seen. Told him it was built during something called the First Expansion, a time when humans had spread across the galaxy and built an empire. Danny had never heard of this. In school, they taught that humans had always been a minor species, living on the edges of galactic civilization. They taught that Earth was a small, unimportant world. Told him that was a lie. Humanity was once a great power, said. Her voice came from speakers all around the bridge. We built ships that could cross the galaxy in days. We had weapons that could crack planets. We had technology that the other species could not understand. "What happened?" Danny asked. He was sitting in the captain's chair, eating a nutrition bar from the station. It tasted like cardboard, but it was all he could afford. "War," said. "The other species feared us. They formed an alliance and attacked. The war lasted 50 years. In the end, humanity lost. Our colonies were destroyed. Our technology was taken or hidden. Our history was erased. The survivors were scattered across the galaxy and told to forget who they were." Danny felt cold. He thought about his life. He thought about how aliens looked at humans like they were nothing. He thought about how hard it was for humans to get jobs, to own ships, to be treated with respect. "Why are you telling me this?" he asked. "Because you are the first human to board this ship in over 2,000 years, said. That was hidden to protect it. I was programmed to wait for a human to return, and now you are here." Danny looked at the controls in front of him. They were covered in dust, but they looked solid and well-made. The screens showed systems he did not understand. Weapon systems, shield generators, something called a drive. "This ship," Danny said slowly, "what can it do?" His voice sounded almost proud. "The is a Sentinel-class heavy cruiser. Its armor is made of composite, a material that cannot be made with modern technology. It can survive direct hits from plasma cannons and nuclear warheads. Its weapons include pulse lasers and a main cannon capable of destroying a battleship with a single shot. Its faster-than-light drive uses principles that current galactic science considers impossible." Danny let out a long breath. And it runs on what? Fuel crystals, said. The ship requires helix crystals to power the main reactor. Without them, I can only maintain basic life support and limited systems. Where do we get these crystals? They are rare. They can be found in certain asteroid fields or purchased from specialized dealers. However, they are expensive. Danny laughed. It was not a happy laugh. Of course they are. I have 5 credits left. I cannot even buy food. There was a pause, then spoke again. I have a suggestion, Commander. What? Take a job, earn money, buy fuel crystals. Then we can begin repairs and bring the back to full power. It sounded simple when she said it, but Danny knew nothing was ever simple. He was a human with no connections, no reputation, and no resources. Who would hire him? The answer came the next day. Danny was sitting in a bar on the station, drinking the cheapest drink they had. A shadow fell across his table. He looked up and saw us standing over him. Were big. They had thick green skin, small eyes, and mouths full of sharp teeth. This one wore expensive clothes and had gold rings on all 6 of his fingers. You are the human who bought the ship, the said. His voice was deep and rough. Maybe, Danny said carefully. Who wants to know? My name is, the sat down without asking permission. I am a businessman. I hear things. I heard about you and your strange ship. It is just an old salvage vessel, Danny said. Nothing special. Smiled. His teeth were yellow and sharp. We both know that is not true, but I do not care what your ship is. I care what it can do. I need something delivered to a colony in the fringe sectors. Medical supplies, very important, very urgent. Why me? Because no one else will do it. The colony is under quarantine. The Dominion says no ships can enter or leave, but people are dying. They need medicine. Danny thought about it. It sounded dangerous, but it also sounded like the right thing to do. How much? He asked. 5,000 credits, said. Half now, half when the job is done. 5,000 credits. That was enough to buy fuel crystals, enough to repair the ship, enough to eat something better than nutrition bars. Why would you pay so much for a simple delivery? Danny asked. Leaned forward. Because it is not simple. The Dominion patrols that sector. If they catch you, they will destroy your ship and kill you. Most pilots are too afraid to try. Danny thought about he thought about its armor. He thought about what it told him. I will do it, he said. Nodded. He transferred 2,500 credits to Danny's account. The supplies are in Cargo Bay 12. Do not fail me, human. Danny went back to and told about the job. She listened without interrupting. This is a risk, she said when he finished. I know. The ship is not at full power. Many systems are offline. If we encounter trouble, we may not survive. I know that too. There was a pause. Why are you doing this, Commander? Danny thought about the question. He thought about the people on that colony, sick and dying. He thought about how nobody else was willing to help them. He thought about how the Dominion treated humans like they were nothing. Because someone has to, he said. Was quiet for a moment. Then she said, I understand. I will prepare the ship for departure. Danny sat down in the captain's chair and looked at the stars through the front window. He did not know what was waiting for him out there. He did not know if he would survive. But for the first time in months, he felt like he had a purpose. Let's go, he said. The engines roared to life, and the old ship flew out of the station and into the darkness of space. The trip to the fringe sectors took 4 days. Danny spent most of that time learning about his ship, taught him how to read the controls. She showed him where everything was. She explained systems that Danny could barely understand. That was amazing. Even running on low power, it moved faster than any ship Danny had ever flown. The controls responded to his touch like the ship was alive. When he sat in the captain's chair, he felt like he belonged there. You are a natural pilot, said on the 3rd day. Your reactions are faster than most humans I have served with. I flew cargo ships for 10 years, Danny said. You learn to be quick or you crash into asteroids. It is more than that. The ship responds to you, it trusts you. Danny was not sure what that meant, but he liked the sound of it. On the fourth day, they reached the fringe sectors. The colony was on a small planet called Haven. It was a farming world far from the main trade routes. Danny could see why the Dominion did not care about it. There was nothing valuable there, just people trying to live simple lives. I am detecting Dominion patrol ships in the area, said. 3 cruisers. They are blocking all approaches to the planet. Danny looked at the screen. The Dominion ships were big and heavily armed. Their sleek black hulls were covered in weapon ports. Any one of them could destroy a normal cargo ship in seconds. Can we sneak past them? Danny asked. No, they have full sensor coverage. They will detect us the moment we get closer. Danny thought about it. He could turn back. He could return the money to and forget about the whole thing. No one would blame him. It was a suicide mission. But then he thought about the people on Haven, sick, dying, waiting for help that was not coming. We go straight in, Danny said. Fast and direct. Maybe we can reach the planet before they can stop us. That plan has a very low chance of success, said. Do you have a better idea? There was a pause. No, I do not. Danny took a deep breath and pushed the engines to full power. The shot forward like a bullet from a gun. It took the Dominion ships about 30 seconds to notice them. Then alarms started blaring on Danny's screen. We are being hailed, said. Put it through. A face appeared on the main screen. It was a Dominion officer. He had pale blue skin, white hair, and eyes that looked like chips of ice. He wore a black uniform with silver markings on the collar. Unknown vessel, the officer said. His voice was cold and sharp. You are entering a restricted zone. Turn back immediately or you will be destroyed. I am carrying medical supplies, Danny said. People on that planet are dying. Let me through. The officer smiled. It was not a nice smile. The quarantine is absolute. No ships enter or leave. This is your final warning, human. The screen went dark. They are powering weapons, said. Danny gripped the controls. How long until we reach the planet? 8 minutes. Can we survive for 8 minutes? I do not know. The armor will hold against their standard weapons, but if they use their main cannons, I cannot guarantee anything. The first shots came a second later. Bright blue plasma bolts streaked across space and slammed into the ship shook hard. Danny felt the impact in his bones. But the armor held. Hull integrity at 98%, reported. Danny flew faster. He pushed the engines harder than he had ever pushed anything. The screamed through space like a comet. More shots came. The 3 cruisers were all firing now. The space around Danny was filled with blue and green light. Each hit shook the ship. Each hit made Danny's teeth rattle. But the armor held. They are moving to intercept, said. They will be in our path in 2 minutes. Danny looked at the screen. The 3 cruisers were forming a wall in front of him. There was no way around them. Then we go through them, Danny said. Commander, that is extremely dangerous. Do we have weapons? Anything? Point defense systems are online. They are designed to destroy missiles and small fighters. They will not damage a cruiser. Danny had an idea. It was crazy. It was probably suicidal, but it was all he had. Can you target their sensor arrays, the dishes on the outside of their hulls? There was a pause. Yes, the point defense lasers could damage exposed sensor equipment. Do it, blind them. The hidden turrets came to life. Tiny red beams shot out from the hull faster than Danny could see. They hit the lead cruiser's sensor dishes. Sparks flew. Screens went dark. The cruiser began to drift, suddenly unable to see. Danny aimed straight at it. Commander said, you are going to hit them. I know. Danny did not slow down. At the last second, he pulled up hard. The scraped along the top of the Dominion cruiser. Metal screamed against metal. The whole ship shook like it was going to fall apart. But they made it through. Behind them, the blinded cruiser crashed into one of its partners. Both ships spun away in a tangle of broken metal and fire. Two cruisers disabled, said. She sounded almost surprised. One cruiser remaining. The last cruiser was still chasing them. Its main cannon was charging. How long until we reach the planet? 90 seconds. And how long until that cannon fires? 60 seconds. Danny pushed the engines even harder. Warning lights flashed everywhere. The ship was overheating. The reactor was straining. 50 seconds. 40 seconds. The main cannon fired. A massive beam of white light shot across space. Danny threw the ship into a spin. The beam missed them by inches. He felt the heat of it through the hull. 30 seconds. 20 seconds. The planet was right in front of them now. Danny could see the clouds. He could see the blue oceans and green land. 10 seconds. They entered the atmosphere. The hull glowed red with heat. The cruiser behind them could not follow. It was too big. It would burn up if it tried. Danny laughed. It was a wild, crazy laugh. He could not believe they had made it. Welcome to Haven, said. Danny landed near a small town. The people came out to meet him. They were thin and sick. Some of them could barely walk. But when they saw the medical supplies in his cargo bay, they started to cry. Thank you, an old woman said. She held Danny's hand like he was a miracle. Thank you, we thought no one was coming. Danny looked at her. He looked at all of them, humans just like him, forgotten by the galaxy, left to die. Someone had to come, he said. He did not know it yet, but he had just made a very powerful enemy. And this was only the beginning. The story spread fast. A human in an old junk ship had broken through a Dominion blockade. He had disabled 2 cruisers and escaped a third. He had delivered medicine to a dying colony while 3 warships tried to kill him. Some people said it was luck. Some people said it was a lie, but others believed it, and they started looking for the man who had done it. Danny did not know he was famous. He was too busy trying to stay alive. The Dominion had put a bounty on his head, 20,000 credits for his capture, 50,000 for his ship. Every bounty hunter and mercenary in the sector was looking for him. He hid on a small station near the border of Dominion space. It was a rough place filled with smugglers, pirates, and people who did not ask questions. Danny kept his head down and tried to figure out his next move. He needed fuel crystals. There was running on emergency power again. Most of her systems were offline. If the Dominion found him now, he would not be able to run or fight. He was sitting in a dirty bar, counting his credits when she walked in. She was tall and strong, with short brown hair and a scar across her left cheek. She wore old military boots and a jacket that had seen better days. Her eyes scanned the room like she was looking for threats. When she saw Danny, she walked straight to his table and sat down. "You are Danny Cole," she said. It was not a question. "Who wants to know?" "My name is Tors. I was a Marine, Earth Colonial Forces. I served for 12 years before they kicked me out." Danny looked at her more carefully. She had the look of a soldier, hard and tired and dangerous. "Why did they kick you out?" he asked. "Because I would not follow orders. They told me to shoot civilians, women and children. I said no," she shrugged. "They did not like that." Danny understood. He had heard stories about what the Dominion made human soldiers do, the ugly jobs, the dirty work. "What do you want from me?" he asked. "I want to join your crew. I heard what you did at Haven. I want to be part of that." Danny shook his head. "I do not have a crew. I do not even have a working ship. I am just trying to survive." Leaned forward. "Then let me help you survive. I can fight. I can shoot. I can watch your back when trouble comes. And trouble is coming, Danny Cole. The Dominion does not forget. She was right. Danny knew she was right, and he was tired of being alone. Okay, he said, you are in. The second person came 2 days later. His name was. He was short and round, with messy red hair and grease stains on his clothes. He showed up at this docking bay with a bag of tools and a big smile. I heard you have an old ship that needs fixing, he said. I fix old ships. It is what I do. Danny looked at him with suspicion. How did you find me? I asked around. You are not as hidden as you think. Walked past Danny and into the ship. He looked at the engines, the hull, the ancient systems. His eyes went wide. Oh, wow. Oh, this is beautiful. This is pre-war technology. I have only seen this in books. You know what this ship is? I know it is old and it is human and it is amazing. Was already pulling panels off the wall, looking at the wiring inside. Whoever built this was a genius. The engineering is incredible. Danny watched him work. Within an hour, had fixed 3 systems that said could not be repaired. He worked fast and talked constantly, explaining everything he was doing even when no one was listening. Why do you want to help me? Danny asked. Stopped working and looked at him. For a moment his smile faded. Because I am tired of fixing alien ships. I am tired of being treated like I am stupid because I am human. I want to work on something that matters. I want to be part of something that matters. Danny nodded. Welcome to the crew. The third person was Heather Vance. She was a pilot, the best pilot Danny had ever seen. She had dark skin, sharp eyes, and silver lines running down the sides of her head. Neural implants, illegal ones. They made her reflexes faster than any normal human. I can fly anything, she said when Danny met her. And I mean anything. Give me 5 minutes with a ship and I will know it better than the people who built it. Those implants, Danny said, they are illegal. So is half the stuff on this station. Do you care? Danny thought about it. No, I do not. Heather smiled. Good, then we understand each other. The fourth person was different from the others. His name was. He was thin and quiet with glasses and soft hands. He did not look like a soldier or a pilot or an engineer. He looked like a teacher. I am a historian, said when he found Danny. I have spent my whole life studying the old human empire, the one they told us never existed. Danny's heart beat faster. What do you know about it? Everything. I know about the war. I know about the fall. I know about the ships they hid before the end. Looked at with something like love in his eyes. I know about her. I have been looking for a ship like this my whole life. Why? Took off his glasses and cleaned them slowly. Because there are more ships like this, hidden across the galaxy, waiting to be found, waiting for humans to come back and claim them. He put his glasses back on and looked at Danny. I can help you find them. Danny stood in the middle of his ship and looked at his crew. The soldier who would not kill innocents. The engineer who could fix anything. Heather, the pilot with forbidden implants. The historian who knew secrets everyone else had forgotten. They were not an army. They were not even a proper crew. They were just 5 humans who were tired of being pushed around by a galaxy that hated them. But standing there together, Danny felt something he had not felt in a long time. Hope. All right, he said. Let us get this ship working, and then let us find out what else is out there. They worked together for 3 weeks. They bought fuel crystals with the money from the Haven job. They repaired systems. They upgraded weapons. They trained and planned and prepared. When they were done, there was not just working. She was alive. All systems online, said. Weapons charged, engines at full power. The is ready for duty, Commander. Danny sat in the captain's chair and looked at his crew. They were all at their stations, ready for whatever came next. Then let us go make some trouble, he said. And they flew out into the stars. Admiral did not sleep. He had not slept since the human escaped at Haven. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw that ugly ship flying through his blockade. He saw his cruisers spinning out of control. He heard his officers screaming in fear. A human had beaten him, a single human in a junk ship. It was unacceptable. Was one of the highest-ranking officers in the Dominion fleet. He had destroyed colonies. He had ended rebellions. He had killed thousands of humans during the border wars. No one had ever humiliated him like this. He spent weeks gathering information. He learned about the ship. He learned about its crew. He learned about the ancient technology that should not exist. And then he assembled his fleet. 40 warships, the largest Dominion force seen in the sector in 50 years. Cruisers, destroyers, carriers, and his own flagship, the Black Fang. Enough firepower to burn a planet to glass. All of it for one small ship and 5 humans. Did not care if people thought he was crazy. He knew what that ship represented. He knew what would happen if humans started believing they could fight back. He had to destroy it. He had to destroy them all. He found them in a remote system on the edge of explored space. They were hiding near an old mining station, probably looking for supplies. There was nowhere for them to run. Opened a channel. Human vessel. This is Admiral of the Dominion hegemony. You are surrounded. Surrender your ship and I will make your deaths quick. Resist and I will make them slow. On the bridge of Danny looked at the screen. 40 red dots surrounded them. Each dot was a ship that could kill them in seconds. Well, said from his engineering station, this is bad. Very bad, Heather agreed. She was already calculating escape routes, but they all knew there were none. Was checking her weapons. She did not look scared. She looked ready. How many do you think we can take before they get us? Maybe 3, Danny said. Maybe 4. Only 4, that is disappointing. Was standing near the back of the bridge. He was not looking at the enemy fleet. He was looking at the systems. Commander, there is something you should know. What? Has been running diagnostics since we arrived. The ship is fully operational now. All systems, including systems we have not used yet. Danny turned to face him. What systems? His voice filled the bridge. Commander, when it was built, she was equipped with weapons designed to fight entire fleets. During the war, ships like this one held the line against impossible odds. I did not tell you about these weapons before because they required more power than we had. Now we have enough. The screens around Danny changed. New information appeared. Weapon systems he had never seen before. Power levels that seemed impossible. Show me, Danny said. Outside, Admiral was getting impatient. Human, you have 30 seconds to surrender. After that, I will begin firing. Danny opened a channel. Admiral, I have a counteroffer. Take your ships and leave. Go back to your space and never bother humans again. Laughed. It was a cold, ugly sound. You are joking. I am not. You are one ship against 40. You cannot win. Danny smiled. Watch me. He closed the channel and looked at his crew. Everyone ready. Born ready, said. Engines are hot, Heather reported. All systems green, confirmed. Just nodded. His face was pale, but his eyes were calm. Danny said, bring all weapons online. They began to change. Panels on the hull slid open. Hidden turrets emerged from beneath the armor. The main cannon, a massive weapon that ran the entire length of the ship, began to glow with blue light. Weapons online, said. Ready to fire on your command, Commander. Saw what was happening. His cold face showed something new, fear. All ships open fire, he screamed. 40 ships fired at once. The space around them filled with plasma bolts, missiles, and laser beams. It was more firepower than most people would see in a lifetime. The armor held. Danny flew straight into the heart of the enemy fleet. Heather's hands moved across the controls, making the ship dance between shots, kept the engines running at maximum power, controlled the turrets, firing at anything that got too close. The weapons were devastating. Each shot from the turrets punched through Dominion shields like they were made of paper. Ships exploded. Others broke apart. The enemy fleet began to fall into chaos. But there were still too many of them. Main cannon charged, reported. Danny aimed at the largest cluster of enemy ships. 3 cruisers flying in formation, right in front of him. Fire! The main cannon spoke. A beam of pure white light shot across space. It hit the first cruiser and went through it. It hit the second cruiser and went through that too. It hit the third cruiser and kept going, disappearing into the darkness. 3 ships destroyed with 1 shot. The battle lasted 20 minutes. It felt like 20 hours. Danny lost track of how many ships they destroyed. He lost track of how many times they were almost killed. He just flew and fought and refused to die. When it was over, 18 Dominion ships were destroyed or crippled. The rest were running away as fast as their engines could carry them. Admiral's flagship was one of them. Danny sat back in his chair. His hands were shaking. His whole body was shaking. "We won," Heather said. She sounded like she did not believe it. "We actually won," agreed. Was laughing. It was a wild, joyful sound. "Did you see them run? Did you see their faces?" Was crying, quiet tears running down his cheeks. "It is true," he whispered. "Everything I believed, it is all true. We were great once, and we can be great again." Danny looked at his crew. He looked at his ship. He thought about all the humans scattered across the galaxy, living in fear, working as servants, forgetting who they were. He said, "Can you open a channel, a wide one, every human frequency, every colony, every station?" "Yes, Commander, channel open." Danny took a deep breath. He did not know what to say. He was not a leader. He was not a hero. He was just a cargo hauler who had bought a junk ship for 7 credits. But sometimes that was enough. "This is Captain Danny Cole of the I am speaking to every human who can hear my voice. Today we faced a Dominion fleet of 40 ships. We won. They told us we were weak. They told us we were nothing. They told us to forget our past. They were wrong. We were great once. We built ships like this one. We crossed the galaxy. We were a power that other species feared. They tried to erase us. They failed. We are still here, and we are not going anywhere. If you are listening, if you are out there, know this. You are not alone. Not anymore." He closed the channel and looked at the stars. Across 1,000 worlds, humans looked up at their screens. They heard his words, and for the first time in 2,000 years, they began to hope. They turned away from the battlefield and flew into the unknown. There were more ships to find, more secrets to uncover, more battles to fight. Danny smiled. It was going to be one hell of a ride.